Welcome to On the Page. This is the podcast that answers all of your questions about the craft and business of screenwriting. My name is Pilar, Alessandra, and I'm the instructor and script consultant here at On the Page. And joining me today for the annual Logline Contest is Aadip Desai. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Aadip. I'm going to introduce you, okay? Let's see if I get your bio right. Okay, so you might remember Aadip as a regular technical producer and co-host of this podcast starting in 2009. And since then, he was staffed on season 7 of ABC's The Goldbergs after becoming a program writer at the prestigious Walt Disney TV writing program. He also wrote on the animated series Mirror Royal Detective and Shark Dog, which was on Netflix, and also Dewdrop Diaries, which will come out next year. In addition to that, he is the director of marketing at Roadmap Writers, and he runs the 17,000 member LA TV Writers Facebook group. So welcome back, Aadip.
Hello.
You and your fancy butt credits. Good.
They're just credits.
Just credits.
Just credits. Not like Handmaid's Tale or like stuff like cool stuff. It's like silly stoner stuff, you know.
It's good silly stuff. It's good silly stuff. So you're back. I'm back. We're gonna do the 2022 Logline Contest. We've been doing this forever. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. People look forward to it. I had a brief moment where I wasn't going to do it. And then, as I told everybody in the announcement for this, a guy named Earl from Wisconsin said, you got to do it. So I always listen to what guys named Earl from Wisconsin tell me to do. And so that's why we're doing it.
There's that in the Bible. Well, it is like, I think it's sort of, for me, it also marks like, oh, Christmas is here because we've done it so long. But people always ask me about it. So we have to do it.
You know why it's always at the end of the year?
I have no idea.
Because I forget.
Oh. Well,
and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, the end of the year.
For whatever reason, it's fine.
So this is gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It works well. It's like a perfect, button to the end of the year.
And this one is going to fall exactly around Christmas. I think it's like day before Christmas Eve or something. I hope I don't ruin anybody's Christmas if they don't get picked. But we do want to let you know that we had 82 submissions this year, 85 last year. And so many of them were good, as usual.
Yeah.
That what we've decided to do is what we did last year, which is pick our favorite 15. So we're going to go, in turns, and Aadip's going to say something he likes. I'm going to say one that I like. And often they are the same one. Mm-hmm. So that helps us pare it down until we get a winner. The winner of this will receive a copy of the Coffee Break Screenwriter, which if I was a really good marketer, I'd have in front of me. So let's pretend that I'm holding up the book, the Coffee Break Screenwriter. Oh, and also the other book, the Coffee Break Screenwriter Breaks the Rules. There you go. And that I will send that to you. Plus, they'll also get a 1-hour private consultation with me to go over the pitch of the project that they are loglining, or to break story on a new project. So that is something I look forward to doing with the winner. So I think that's about it. Anything else I should tell them?
No, I think that's everything.
Oh, we should probably add how we judge this. Okay.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
It's not only about the best phrased logline, although that really matters, right? We're looking for cool wording. We're looking for one sentence only. We're looking for something that is a verbal one sentence pitch of your project. But we're also looking for originality of story, something that hooks us. And we can do that now because we have so many submissions, so we can judge a little bit on both. So, Aadip, you want to start?
Yes, I'm going to put my headphones in because I have a loud house.
Oh, okay. All right.
We have a new puppy who does not respect podcasts at all. So,
oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, are your kids going crazy?
Yes, because he has more energy than they do, and it's pretty like he and Coral are like twins, so it's kind of crazy. He's like a toddler. Um, yeah, they love him. He's very cute. We get stopped everywhere
Aw.
because he has a cute underbite because he's a half pug, half chug base or half Chihuahua. So
And then on top of it, your girls are gorgeous too. How old are
yeah,
they now?
they are almost 5 and one is 10. I have a
Crazy.
10-year-old.
I know. Double digits. Welcome
That
to
it's
it.
like who are you? And what have you done with that little girl who was sleeping in that bed last night? And when I woke up, there was like a lady in here.
But
Um,
they get more interesting, I think.
oh
They
yeah, yeah,
get personalities, you can engage them in conversation, you start
yeah,
reading the same books. It's kind of fun. Go
yeah,
to movies, more movies.
yeah. We watched all of Star Trek, the original series and Next Generation, and now we're doing DS9. So yeah, she's into sci-fi, which is cool.
Is she as much of a Trekkie as you, or is this like, dad's making me watch Star Trek
No,
again?
she's like, "Are we gonna watch Star Trek?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, we are." And let me see, my camera is
I
phasing
know
out.
it's blurring.
It's
What's going
blurring.
on?
I don't know. I'm having
It's a good thing you're a writer,
one of
not a
those things.
director, Aadip. There
I
you
don't
are.
have the ego for it, but I do like actors, so that is the job. Uh, yes. So, anywho,
Anywho, okay,
all
we're
right.
looking clear. We're ready to go.
Yeah,
This should be fun. I'm drinking
you're
Prosecco.
drinking. I'll get a drink halfway through, maybe. We'll see.
All right.
I'm trying
We'll
to be
see.
good.
Okay.
All
Ready?
right.
Oh,
Yes.
and also this is on YouTube. Like,
Oh, that's right.
we don't usually, this is an audio podcast, but
Mhm.
this time everybody can see us too. And that's okay.
They can see the look on our faces.
That's right. As we go,
What the?
all right.
How dare they write that log line?
What's your first one?
Oh,
Your
my first
top
favorite.
15. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, by the way,
Yes.
I took all the things and I didn't look at the names of the writers. I deleted them off of it so I wouldn't be biased because I know so many of these people in real life. So
Oh,
I was
good for
like, I just
you.
want to make sure I'm being fair. So it's
But
not like I picked all my friends, but I did pick a lot of my friends by accident. So
but wait a minute. How are you gonna tell us who did it and where they're from?
well, I have the master document. So
Oh,
I
you have the
went through,
master document.
yes.
Okay.
So I was very methodical about it.
Ah,
So my first one is Nate Nort's Nathaniel. He's putting his full name, Nathaniel. And so this one, he says he's living in Orange, California.
mhm.
It's a TV series. A maverick investigator who specializes in tracking down people who fake their own deaths uses his expertise to hunt his own presumed dead fiance.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The good one,
That's good,
very tight.
especially for a TV show, right? Where you've
Yeah,
already got somebody with a backstory.
yeah,
He specializes in tracking down people who fake their own deaths. I should say that's his skill, right?
yep.
And then he ends up having the same problem. So
Mhm.
he has to track down his own presumed dead fiance, which I'm assuming everybody else thinks she's dead, but he does not because he
Right.
knows the signs, right?
Yep. Yep.
All
It's very
right.
specific, which is, I think, it's a very specific type of investigator, which I like.
Mhm.
Because I don't know if we've seen a show about that specifically. So I think it's good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's succinct, and you
Yep.
can see the show. All right,
Yep.
thank you, Nate. All right, so the next one that I have is Beverly Chukwu. She's from Austin, Texas, and this is a TV show. After being excommunicated from her religious Nigerian community, an afraid of everything 33-year-old woman is forced to move out of her parents' home and into an familiar city where she must confront the root of her horrific. Wait, how am I going to do this if I can't read them, Aadip?
I don't
What is
know.
wrong with me?
We should get an AI in here to do all our work.
I'm going to hire an actor next time. Okay. All right. I'm going to say this one more time.
Do
okay,
it.
Beverly, I'm sorry. After being excommunicated from her religious Nigerian community and afraid of everything, 33-year-old woman is forced to move out of her parents' home and into an unfamiliar city where she must confront the root of her horrific dissociative episodes. Now, it's a little wordy, right? But
Yes.
I liked its specificity. She was excommunicated from her religious Nigerian community. Okay, there's her backstory. She's afraid of everything. She's forced to move out of her parents' home and into an unfamiliar city where she must confront the root of her horrific dissociative episodes. So even though it's a little
It's a little wordy.
abstract and a little
It
wordy,
is. Mhm.
I for some reason, like it felt very, like I said, I liked the specificity of it. I could see it. I like the world building of it. So it's not what I usually say for TV, which is like, I need to
Right.
see the show, but there was
Yeah.
something about it that I really liked. So
I
I
almost picked it. It was on the bubble for me. Because I was curious, like, okay, was she excommunicated because of her dissociative episodes or for another reason
right.
entirely? I mean, I understand why she's forced to move out of her parents' home. But yeah, so like I don't know if you would move the mental illness part to the top, or I mean, I like how it lands,
Mhm.
but I am curious, like, oh, maybe she got kicked out for other reasons.
I guess
That's fair.
I like not
The
knowing.
the not knowing, yeah.
I mean, that to me is clearly, I'm going to find that out
Yeah.
because she had these dissociative episodes. Okay, so show me what that looks like. So it's going to be
Yeah.
really heady, but yeah,
Yeah.
I dug
Like
it.
they probably think she's possessed, and you know, that's what's gonna happen.
Exactly. Well, I guess we'd find out. All right, what's your
Yeah.
next one?
Mine was Henry Giraldo's from Queens, New York, and it's a feature
Mhm.
set in Queens, New York. Look at that, in 2000. It's a period piece. An ill-tempered teenage son of Latin immigrants is fed up with his parents' daily verbal assault on each other. So to get back at them, he quits school, hides in the subway from truancy officers, and spends his afternoons exploring New York City. So I liked the timing of it. Is very, like, you know, you're right around that 9/11 thing. And it's like I can see it. I can see this movie playing out, but I don't know what's going to happen. So it's kind of fun because it's almost like a Home Alone, but like a dark Home Alone. And you know, like, New York's crazy, so I think it'd be fun.
I didn't put it on the list because I think it needed some tightening up with the log line.
I
So
think,
right
yeah, I
now,
think that's true.
it reads, an ill-tempered teenage son of Latin immigrants is fed up, so he does something. So
Yeah,
I think the way to go would be fed up with his parents' daily
yeah.
verbal assault on each other, comma, an
Mhm.
ill-tempered teenage son of Latin immigrants quits school, hides in the subway from truancy officers, and spends his afternoons exploring New York City. So what
Yep.
that does is it gets rid of is fed up, so he does something,
Yeah.
and it tightens the whole thing up. So
Yeah,
that's
I
why
think
it didn't
that,
go on my list.
yeah, and that's why I was like, I like it, and then, but I know has a few extra little things happening, but yeah,
But a good idea is a
but
good
it's
idea,
good.
right?
Yeah, like,
It's
who
that thing
cares?
that like gets our imagination going,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know?
look at the log lines that get printed in like Deadline, and they're horrific often, and you're just like, is this really the best log line for this project? I doubt it. You know,
But
like,
at
you'll
on the page,
on the
Aadip,
page, the
our
bar is
bar is
higher.
higher. Yes,
Yes.
yes. You're very
Yep.
clear. Okay. All right. The next one, let's see. Who did I have?
Yours.
All right. It is, oh my gosh. Ready? Jeff Zampino.
Oh man, Zampino, I saw
Jeff
that.
Zampino from Las Vegas. You know, he never fails to get on this list except for last year, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it was his great shame.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He-
I'm loving this one. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Jeff Zampino from Las Vegas. This is a feature. He writes, when a defunct Cold War era nuke in Oklahoma mysteriously activates, a squad of Gen Z code monkeys must join forces with the missile's ornery octogenarian engineer in order to avert a big bad boom. Thank you, Jeff.
Yep. It's a good log line.
It's a good log line, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's got some generational stuff going on too.
Yeah.
You get a sense of the sort of tongue-in-cheek comedy, right?
Yeah.
And this is not going to be, this isn't super serious. This is more Dr. Strangelove, probably, right?
Yeah. I think it would be like a satire in some way.
Yeah.
What's this 80-year-old engineer doing being in charge of, the nukes? That's pretty weird.
No, it isn't, because it makes complete sense. A defunct Cold War era nuke. So
it's like, go babysit this dead thing, right?
Right. So who's going to be in charge of it is going to be an octogenarian. That makes complete sense. And then who's going to also help get rid of it for our time? A squad of Gen Z code monkeys. So it's great, right? So
how much napping is happening in that bunker?
Oh,
like who's gonna relieve our octogenarian?
Just take your ageist self off this podcast.
No, I like the old person part of it. That's gonna be me someday, maybe, if I live long enough.
You're gonna need your Gen Z code monkey kids to be helping you out. Yeah.
There's gonna be no planet by then. It's gonna be all on Mars.
A whole year without you, Aadip.
People love this. They love this. They run away from it, but they love it. Okay.
Who did you have next?
I had Yutaka Takeuchi from Studio City. And this is a feature. It's very, very cool. Sworn to honor, sworn to fight. A solitary Japanese Yakuza trapped in an American prison discovers true freedom there through his assimilation into a Chicano gang.
Yeah, it's so tight, and it almost made my list. I really
yeah.
Sworn to honor, sworn to fight. It has that kind of like genre feel to
it. It was great. That was really fun.
Yeah.
And I totally understand, like, where would you go if you're Asian in prison? Like we talk about this all the time. It's like you have to pick. It's almost all of us would end up being in like a Latino or a Chicano gang, basically. That's any of us who are like ethnically like outnumbered by a lot. Like there's not gonna be like 3 Indian guys in there. So I'm just gonna have to pick, but I get it.
You don't think there's like a gang of middle-aged Karens that I can join somewhere?
There will be that.
You think?
Yes.
All those women who cheated their kids into Ivy League schools and stuff.
Yeah.
I can just hang out with them.
Like
maybe.
A little white collar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I could see that.
But this is so, it's just really tight. Sworn to honor, sworn to fight, a solitary Japanese Yakuza trapped in an American prison, discovers true freedom through assimilation, Chicano gang, all those, the way it's described, the pick of those adjectives, very, very well done.
Yep.
Okay, so the next person I have is somebody that we both know very well, and it is Sari. Sari
I picked that one, and I didn't know it was her.
That's good, because your kids actually hang out.
Our families celebrate every single holiday, birthday together for
that. And you met through on the page, right?
On the page in your writing group. Isn't that funny?
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah, she's super cool.
Yeah.
And she's a good writer. So the log line that she came up with was, and this is a feature, she's got legs for days and hasn't showered in months. Homeless Barbie is forced into a new lifestyle after losing Ken and the dream mansion in a perilous tax evasion scandal. Fun.
It's fun. It's just tight, and it has her sense of humor. Like that first part is very much her, and I picked it, but it wasn't a bias. I didn't know it was her.
Right. And also just she's got legs for days and has yes.
You could just, that alone is like, I want to read this.
Yes. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
All
So
right.
that's one we agreed on so far.
That's true.
And I
Okay.
guess we'll just stop. I'm just kidding.
Give me another one.
Let's see. My next one was from Hugo in London. It's a feature.
Mhm.
Two squabbling cinema workers who accidentally allow movie characters with bad intentions to come alive into the real world and cause mayhem must learn to work together when they realize they are the only ones that know how to catch them and put them back into the movie they came from. Now, I like the concept, but I
Mhm.
think the log line needs help. So that is my one thing, because I was trying to like rework it on my own just to be like, how can we tighten it up?
Mhm.
Because like it's just got a lot of extra stuff in it, probably.
I think it's just shortening it.
Yeah,
Uh,
just shortening. Yeah.
so two squabbling cinema workers who accidentally allow movie character. You know what you could do is, after two squabbling cinema workers realize that they accidentally allow
Yeah.
movie characters with bad intentions to come alive,
Yeah.
they must learn to work together to stop real world mayhem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's that idea
Yeah.
right now. It has that sort of we've got these people and then they do
And then,
something and then they
yeah.
do something. So instead, just sort of getting rid of a
Yeah.
detail, must learn to work together.
Right.
Yeah. When they realize they are the only ones that know how to catch them, we got rid of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I think there's a way to tighten it up. It's a great
Yeah.
premise, but it didn't go on my list
Yeah.
because it needed a little work.
Yeah. I totally get that.
Um,
Okay. Who's your next person?
The next person I have is Zach Kosterka, and he is from Los Angeles. And this is a feature. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
In the aftermath of the Spanish influenza, a widowed butcher living in the American South must face his past and protect his son from an insane contortionist who creeps into children's rooms and steals them in the night.
It's very creepy. It has the word creep in it too. I almost picked this one actually, because it was very like, ooh. What do you like about it?
Well, I just felt like again, the detail of it, the genre of it.
Yeah.
It feels Who's the Shape of Water guy? Oh God.
Guillermo
It feels
del
like a
Toro.
Guillermo kind
It
of
does.
thing.
It does. I totally. Yep.
Yeah. So in the aftermath of the Spanish influenza, widowed butcher living in the American South must face his past and protect his son from an insane contortionist who creeps into children's rooms and steals them in the night. Frankly, this idea is bananas, but
It's bananas. It is.
I just love the way that it's described, and I'm all in. So I liked it. I'm surprised this wasn't on your list. I thought you would dig.
It was very close to making it, but you're right, like Doug Jones would be the contortionist, and he would, he's the guy for that.
Yes,
absolutely. This actually could be now that I look at it further, it's like this could be one of his movies.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I might be able to be convinced to like put this one ahead of something else, but we'll see.
So what have you got next?
I had Zach's brother, actually. I don't know what's going on in the Kastorka house.
Eugene Kastorka.
Yeah, Eugene, and he's in Sydney, and his brother Zach is in LA, which is interesting. So this is a feature. It's also cool. When Snow White comes knocking at their door, the 7 dwarves go to extreme lengths to hide the fact that until yesterday, there used to be 8 of them, and they don't know who amongst them is the killer.
I love that.
It's pretty rad.
That was on my list too.
Was it? Yeah.
I love that one. So great.
It's like, oh yeah. Like you just knives out this thing, and yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. And I love the fact that Snow White knocking on their door, right? And the 7 dwarves having to like hide that, like, okay, yeah, there used to be 8, but there's 7 of us now.
Yeah.
What that does is it makes her the investigator.
Yep,
So
exactly.
suddenly Snow White is not the hapless female anymore. She's
Yep.
actually coming on in and being like, all right, what's
Yeah.
going on here? I
Yep.
sense that there used to be 8 of you.
Yeah. Why is
So
there an extra room with
exactly.
Winky or whatever? What happened to Winky? Oh, Winky moved out. Oh, really? There's no sign of him except for his bed.
So
Yeah,
that's the
there's
8th, the name of the 8th dwarf is Winky.
Wink. I don't know. I just I just
I
threw Winky in there.
I like it. I like
He
it,
was just
right?
winking too much, and they're like,
Yeah.
kill that guy. I think they all killed him. I think they conspired to kill him together. That's my guess.
Oh, very Agatha Christie of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah. Look, you're right.
Yeah,
Winking
see?
only goes so far. One can only
Winking,
handle it.
yeah, like you're
Mhm.
very limited. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with
Let's
you.
see.
Okay, I think the next one is me. So this
Yep.
is I have Connor Saman from New York City, and this is a TV show. After a puzzle-obsessed billionaire dies, her Instagram famous best friend is given the chance to win her fortune if he can complete a series of riddles around the world, with the catch being that if any word of the competition goes viral, he'll be disqualified.
I thought I picked that one actually. Let me
Did
make
ya?
sure that I did, because that one was definitely one that I liked.
There were a lot this year that had tech and
Yeah.
influencers, and
Yeah.
there's always sort of a theme that we find,
Yeah.
every year. One year it was very dystopic for obvious
Yep.
reasons.
Yeah.
There were political things one year, and this year a lot of, the issues going on in the tech world, and also issues with sort of like Gen Z, Gen X kind of stuff.
Yeah, because we're feeling that generational kind of divide. I did pick this one, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
just had it
right.
labeled the wrong color.
So again, I'll just read it just so you can
Yeah.
hear it. After a puzzle-obsessed billionaire dies, her Instagram famous best friend is given the chance to win her fortune if he can complete a series of riddles around the world, with the catch being that if any word of the competition goes viral, he'll be disqualified. So
Yeah.
it speaks to his flaw and his skill,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So we've got somebody who's probably good at this, but cannot keep things to himself, right?
And it's like the billionaire's a woman. The Instagrammer is a guy, so that kind of flips the expectation. And you can just see like it could be that he has to do good things and cannot take credit for them. It could be bad, it could be all kinds of things, but it's going to drive him insane to not be able to just like, he's gonna have to like destroy his phone. So yeah, you can see it's like it could be a dark comedy, I think, depending on how dark it goes, or it could be very light.
Oh, I think it's dark, and it's a TV show. So
that's true. So it's gonna go.
Yeah. So every week, there's a new puzzle to solve,
Yeah.
right? And a new pull at not letting people know about this. Now, can you keep that going for an entire series? I think something else is going to have to happen. So Connor, in your pitch for the and then what of the series, think about that, because it pitches really well, but that's the first thing people ask is, can you sustain this as a TV show?
You could Squid Game it where, the Instagrammer becomes, he gets money, and then, but in order to keep the money, he has to now enlist another influencer to do the same thing.
Oh, I love that.
Like you could do that.
Oh, I love that, because then that influencer wouldn't be able to keep their mouth shut, and so on, right?
Exactly. And then it would just be like, and they're all following each other. So you have that kind of thing going on. So yeah, it's a good one.
Sure. Okay. All right. So we are going to move on then to, who's your next person?
My next one. This is a very funky one, and this is from Paul Zeldman out of San Francisco, and it's a feature.
Mhm.
After a jealous rival turns him into a fiendish monster, an impulsive teen prodigy must figure out how to change back and stop it from happening to the rest of humanity. So it's kind of like almost Pixar-y, depending on what tone he goes for. But I saw a lot of potential there in terms of where you could take it.
The only reason it didn't get on my list is the word it. I'm being so picky. But the log line is after a jealous rival turns him into a fiendish monster, an impulsive teen prodigy must figure out how to change back and stop it from happening to the rest of humanity. And I was like, what it? Because he said that it's the jealous rival turns him into a fiendish monster.
True.
So maybe I'm just getting confused with pronouns here. So is the jealous rival? No, because it's
it is the turning into a monster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he must figure out how to change back and stop it from happening to the rest of humanity. So how does his condition, how would that happen to humanity? So to me, there was a piece
that's
missing.
a good point.
Yeah.
Is it like a magic thing where it's like I turned you into a monster, or is it a virus thing?
Exactly.
Or is it a vampire-y thing?
Right.
Because like how can he pass it on? Because he has to be passing it on for him to think it's going to happen to everybody else.
Right. So
Right.
it starts with this person does this to him, and then he has to prevent this from happening to other people. But what is the thing? So yeah, that's why
that's a good point.
I'm sorry, Paul.
but you now helped the log line, because now he can be more specific about how this transmits.
I hope so. I really hate the idea of ruining Christmases. Okay, so the next thing I had was Frank Glass from Manhattan. I'll take Manhattan. Every time I see do people still say Manhattan? Like Manhattan? Or do they say New York, New York? Or do they say just Manhattan? Say the city?
People say Manhattan or the city, right? That's what I hear most of the time. Okay. Although everyone I know lives in Brooklyn or Queens, so
I know. I don't know anybody who's rich enough to live in Manhattan.
I know
Good
a couple.
for you, Frank Glass.
Yeah.
Okay, so he lives in Manhattan, and it's a feature. When debts escalate and producers close in, a fast-talking New York City daytime talk show host blurs the line between observer and sensationalist to increase ratings until his violence and temper threaten his self-respect. So we're just basically watching a daytime talk show host lose it. On
TV. Mm-hmm.
But it's very well written, because I could see this as it happens in one day, one show. It could happen over time. I don't know, but he's definitely pumping up the idea of somebody having a breakdown by giving the motivation when debts escalate and producers close in, talking about what he's like, fast talking New York City daytime talk show host, blurs the line between observer and sensationalist. That's what makes it interesting for me. What does he do to increase ratings until his violence and temper threaten his self-respect? So I'm actually thinking maybe he creates a number of tricks on camera, jokes or practical jokes or whatever. He's going so big and being so sensationalistic that it's becoming angry TV.
Yeah. And is the producers closing in, is that like his boss is going, what the hell is he doing in there kind of thing?
I think it's they're saying, I want more. So this is the motivation. When debts escalate and producers close in, this is his answer to it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Closes in to me was a little bit unclear, but maybe that's just me. Because it felt like when I see debts escalate and producers close in, it's like, does he owe the producers money and they're going after their money because they're right next to each other? So I was like, and then why would producers want money from him? And then I was like, oh wait, it has something to do with what he's doing on television. So it's like, maybe that goes somewhere else. I don't know.
It says a lot about how one word can change everything,
Yeah, like it.
It or clothes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's true.
Yeah,
That's why these things are maddening at times.
they are. That's why we have a whole contest about it. What was your next one?
Mine was, I have to go back. Connor. Mine was Michael from Liverpool, UK, and it's a feature. This just made me laugh. When crew members begin to vanish during a film shoot at Pinewood Studios in 1985, a rookie movie journalist secretly investigates tyrant director James Cameron of conducting human sacrifices in order to achieve the most successful sequel of all time, Aliens.
That's very funny.
It's
That was
really
very
funny. It's very, it's very clearly a movie I would like because it has all the things in it that I like. Because Aliens is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So I could totally see people dying in the making of it because it's so crazy. Yeah, I just love like this like what if kind of thing thrown on top of a guy who's already pretty out there.
But speaking of one word, okay.
Oh, here we go.
A rookie movie journalist secretly investigates tyrant director James Cameron of conducting human sacrifices.
Yeah, that's
so, yeah, it was
yeah.
that threw me off. So
Yep.
I think Michael means suspects.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you replaced it, it would be when crew members begin to vanish during a film shoot at Pinewood Studios in 1985. A rookie movie journalist secretly suspects tyrant director James Cameron of conducting human sacrifices in order to achieve the most successful sequel of all time, Aliens.
Yep, that fixes it.
And I would have been like all over it. That to me, but that investigates it doesn't make any sense.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it is a great idea.
It's a fun idea.
Probably true. What do you think?
Who knows? James Cameron runs full vegan sets, so I don't know what his, what's going on.
Oh, so maybe not.
Maybe not, but maybe back then,
but
he did.
Yeah,
and this is all subterfuge.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's a vegan now.
Yep. Who knows?
Yeah.
Too much sacrificing.
Right.
Well, that script sounds fun.
It does.
It becomes a script. Yeah.
It absolutely does. Okay, so I'm going to Adam Law. No, wait, sorry, Adam Law. Adam was like, yes, but no, sorry, it wasn't Adam Law. It was Adam S. Cantor. And I think he popped up in last year's Logline competition or two ago. Adam S. Cantor, currently based in Los Angeles, originally from Sharon, Massachusetts, and this is a feature. When anti-elite extremist groups begin publicly executing pop culture icons, a meme lord must go from internet troll to PR manager and save his out-of-touch celebrity sister's life. I was certain you were going to pick this one.
It was definitely on the bubble for me. Because I like that this troll has to go, has to like help his sister who he clearly hates and probably does what he does because of her. So it could be maybe I wanted a little bit more on the sister. I don't know. I also don't know, like, okay, who's this movie for? So like I think like meme lord's gonna scare like a lot of people off. So perhaps, I don't know, maybe young execs are into it.
Oh, yeah, you can't. We have to take risks. If you can't go safe with these things,
No.
I mean, frankly, I think a lot of these best log lines here are untouchable if you go, completely commercial. But this is fun, I mean.
Yeah, no, I like it. It was definitely on the bubble for me. So
I just really thought you'd.
I'm
you're getting sucked.
No, I'm for some reason, I just wasn't. I think it could be like PR manager part was a little bit like, okay, because I feel like, okay, so he's gonna just be a PR manager for her, or is he gonna like
Yeah,
fully
I'm going to
save
read
her?
it again.
Okay, do it.
When anti-elite extremist groups begin publicly executing pop culture icons, a meme lord must go from internet troll to PR manager and save his out-of-touch celebrity sister's life. So basically, this troll has to now turn around and do the opposite of what he does. He
Yeah.
has to pump up his celebrity sister's life rather than knock it down, because it's exactly his kind of cynicism that has caused these extremist groups to begin publicly executing pop culture icons. I think the thing that might be in the way might be meme lord, because if that's tripping you up, I think it's sort of like, we don't need it, because what really matters is he was an internet troll. So an internet troll has to become PR manager for his out of touch celebrity sister.
I think if you toss meme, because I know what a meme lord is and all that, but like I think you don't need it, and it's maybe a double anyway. Like meme lord and troll are sort of the same thing. So, but troll will get more people to understand what it is.
Yep.
Like you don't need meme lord if you have troll that everyone will know, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's
all right.
it.
Okay, Adam. Remember, I think Aadip saved you 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure you were the Aadip Desai save.
You were, yes, I think
now
so.
he has knocked you off the list. There, one minute you're up, the next you're
I didn't
down.
know it was I didn't know it was Adam.
I think it
That's
was.
the thing. I was being very. That's why I had to do my process, because
it's smart. It's smart.
I would just be like, oh well, Adam's cool, so I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
There's a lot of bias, so.
Okay, good for you.
My own bias.
Aadip, don't you think I've been advocating this for years? Okay.
Yeah.
At a time where like nobody would care what I'd say anyway, right?
Yes.
And now nobody still cares what I say. But I really believe that people's names should not be on scripts when they're submitted.
I agree.
Because no matter what people do to hide their gender or their ethnicity or whatever, right? The people they have bias when they're reading. So get rid of it. Just make it the story and see what happes. So I think you were really smart to do that. I wish I wasn't so lazy and I had done that, but
it became very clear early on. I was like, I recognize like a lot of these names because they're like repeat submitters and all that. So I thought, let's make it fair. I mean, that's what symphony orchestras had to do by having people play behind these screens, so you couldn't tell what gender they were. Yeah, because it's such a problem. So now you just walk onto stage and you just sit behind a screen. They don't see you at all, and they just hear you, and then they pick based on that. So they can't discriminate against women.
And hence the voice was born. Have we learned nothing from the voice? Okay. All right. Who is, I think you're next. Yeah?
Yeah. Yes. Why did I pick this? Hold on a second.
That's nice.
Oh, here we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one. This is it. Rick Southwick or Southwick from Vienna, Ontario, Canada. And it's a feature film. A mystery podcast crew vanishes after traveling to a remote Canadian village to interview residents on local claims that real people are becoming imaginary. It's pretty cool. Pretty weird.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it here. Was that before? You took that list all out of order now. Okay. Say it one more time.
So it was Rick from Ontario. So it's a feature film. A mystery podcast crew vanishes after traveling to a remote Canadian village to interview residents on local claims that real people are becoming imaginary.
I like it. I like how simple it is.
It's very simple. Yeah. It's like,
Oh,
oh, okay, I know what this is.
I had it too. How
Oh,
about that?
sweet. Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Right. It sets up the premise so well,
Yeah.
right? Mystery podcast crew. So we know what they do.
Yeah.
They vanish. Now that's the only thing there. They vanish after traveling to do something. So does it give away the whole
Ooh.
what happens to them? Because
Yeah, perhaps.
I could see that if this mystery podcast crew travels to a remote Canadian village to interview residents on local claims that real people are becoming imaginary.
Right.
Okay, it says what's going to happen
Yeah.
to them. But if you
Yeah.
add that they vanish,
Right.
we know how it ends.
You're right.
So that might get in its way.
But it's true. Yeah. It's stronger for us to not know that they vanished.
Exactly.
It'll make us read it and go, do they become imaginary by coming to this village? And that's the big question, right?
Oh, maybe that is it. Okay. So then maybe there's a little bit more that needs to be there. A mystery podcast crew must determine if they're real or imaginary after,
Right.
Something like
Yeah.
that. I'm not sure.
It's rich with mystery, so it's good.
Okay. Well, you definitely got us. So well done, Rick. Okay. The next person that I had was Katie Scrivener from South Pasadena, California. And this is TV.
Let me find Katie's.
I think it's like,
oh yeah, this one.
Yeah. Inspired by their success as accidental kidnappers, a bargain basement mom and her narcissistic friend go into cahoots to build a bulk rate, low ransom kidnapping business. I liked it. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
So what we find out is inspired by their success as accidental kidnappers. Okay, that's probably what the pilot was. Okay,
Yeah.
They accidentally kidnapped somebody. Then we describe them: bargain basement mom and her narcissistic friend. You can totally see the relationship between them. Go into cahoots to build a bulk rate, low ransom kidnapping business. That's the TV show. That's what we're going to see week after week.
Yeah. Yep. it was close for me. I know. Maybe I am going soft, who knows? But I was like, why are we rooting for these kidnappers? What is the redeeming part of their thing? Is it that they bumbled into becoming kidnappers, and that, is that enough? And then we know it's really more about their relationship and what they're willing to do. It reminds me a little bit of like the Good Girls,
right? Or Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's the idea of doing bad things for the right reasons. So one would assume that this low ransom kidnapping business is kidnapping the right people, like maybe you're kidnapping, privileged sons and daughters of corporate, who knows? One would assume it would have to be with something good underneath.
You would assume that, but we don't know that for sure, right? Because it could be this very nihilistic kind of, who knows? But because you want to get if it's going to be that, you want to get a sense of it. It's like a kind of a Robin Hood situation. Mm-hmm. Get that in there, because then you get the goodwill for it. So maybe that's what I'm missing, is like just low ransom kidnapping business. Okay, that's fine. Like $20 and you can get your iPad back or whatever, whatever.
Right.
What's the range of this, or what are we going to see? Because I don't exactly know like the kind of people they're going to take. So maybe that would be helpful to know. What do you think? Is that too much?
I think you make a good point. So, Katie, one way to get past that would be that you get rid of the motivation now. Instead of inspired by their success as accidental kidnappers, let's say we get rid of that from the log line and we start instead with a bargain basement mom. So now it would be a bargain basement mom and her narcissistic friend go into cahoots to build a bulk rate, low ransom kidnapping business aimed at, and that's when you would put the good intentions that they have,
Yeah.
the Robin Hood like intentions, so that we really get more of the show and less of the setup. And that could answer your question from a deep Desai development executive at Amazon Prime. So,
Oh no, yeah, who knows? I may lose my job tonight.
as a development executive at Amazon Prime.
Yeah, as a development executive anywhere in LA right now, it's
No, I
like
think they're hiring you. I think they're like, yeah, all right. Yeah.
I feel bad for the execs, man. It's like it's a bloodletting out there. It's like, where is everybody now? It's like trying to keep track of them is really tough.
You know what, you're climbing through the rank when you say things like, I feel bad for the execs.
Well, because a lot of my friends have been execs and stuff, and many have left the business. But so I know how hard their job can be because they have to read so many goddamn scripts. Like
That's true.
so many. It's shocking how much they have to read. But I don't want to see a bunch of people losing their jobs. That's not fun. But
yeah. So which purge are you referring to right now?
Well, I'm referring to, Warner Brothers is always doing their thing, and Netflix is doing their thing, and Amazon had their thing, and there's gonna be more, unfortunately. So we'll see. But it's just like I feel like everyone's like scared of 2023 as well. Like 2022 was such a mess, and revenue was like way down everywhere in all these corporate mergers. So it's like a perfect storm of things happening, and writer strike potentially in May. So it's like okay, and the war is going to be a year in February, like the Ukraine war. So it's like a lot of uncertainty.
Well, remember this podcast started right before that major writer strike.
Yeah,
started in 2007, and
yeah,
then
that's
when everybody struck. And
yeah,
so real sort of bird's eye view, just
yeah,
watching what happened. It gave birth to all these different ways of doing business.
yeah,
That sort of put the studio system on its ear.
yeah,
And I like to think of the positive side of this, that if, Warner Brothers is doing their thing and Netflix is doing their thing, then maybe the people that are ousted turn around and make that
and
up
do
their new thing.
yeah,
They
yeah.
get together and they do something new.
That's a
And
that's a
I
good
think
point.
I've, now seen it so many
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
So that's why I remain hopeful. I think, creative people, you give them a problem, they come up with a creative solution.
that's a good point.
Not that
Yeah.
everybody should be fired because they
Right,
shouldn't.
right. But I see what you're saying. It's like it opens up the idea like, hey, maybe I don't need to go work for the studio or the network. I can have my own production company because I have good taste, and I can, or I have a taste that I think I can make that's marketable, and whatever it is. Yeah, we could see, like, I guess that's why like certain agencies kind of got created, right? It's like when other, they were like, I'm fed up with this, thing, or they get fired and they're like, well, we'll start a new thing. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to look at it that way.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't make people easy to find when they've changed companies like 3 times. And you're like,
true.
okay, where are you?
And you're right. It doesn't make their jobs easy either.
No, because it's like, oh, what's the mandate now? And then writers, it's like, what's the mandate at this place? Everyone's gone that I knew, or that, the people in charge throughout all the content, and they're picking their own. So it's like, it's a moving target for everybody.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will be done soon.
Yeah. And then, cut to 10 years from now, and
I know.
the prize will be, and Aadip Desai will produce your TV show at Desai Pictures. There you go. Why not?
Yeah. But it'll be my kids running it, because
That's true. That is true.
I'm bringing nepotism hard this next generation.
The next person I think is you, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Let's
go for it.
see. Okay. Let's see, here it is. Yeah, it was right after that, from Randy Parker in Rockland, California, which is close to where I sort of grew up. It's a feature. While she races around the galaxy in pursuit of a remnant from Earth's past, a private investigator learns the truth about her father's death and must face down his killer if she wants to fulfill his dream of preserving a precious piece of their heritage.
So what was it that got you about this one?
Well, it's like it's like a different kind of investigator story. So I like those. It's sci-fi, it's intergalactic, and like this notion, like she has to find this remnant from Earth's past, and that's obviously tied to something about them. And so it has the personal, and has the personal stakes, and it also has like the galactic stakes, the universal stakes. So that's what I liked about it.
I would have liked if, considering that this is futuristic,
Yeah,
if instead of private investigator, there was some kind of
like cool
spin
name.
on that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Because when I saw
Mm-hmm.
private investigator learns the truth about her father's death and must face down his killer, that becomes the second act of so many things that I read and so
True,
many log lines I read.
true.
So I would have loved to get that same spice with
Mm-hmm.
the galaxy and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I would have just loved a little bit more of that in there.
yeah. I think that's a good point. So we can
Um,
like picture a different kind of person, because private investigator, like you just sort of, it locks you into a particular picture.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but I think it's cool, and it like has a female protagonist, and um, all that is all good. So it could
Okay.
make a really, like, this kind of thing could also make a really good kind of sci-fi novel,
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
you could noir it, and it could be kind of cool.
Series of novels.
Yep.
Okay, I got one. It's very simple, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
It's Lane Law from Austin, Texas. This is a feature film. A Pawnee scout and a mountain man, once bitter enemies, must team up to hunt a grizzly that has been devastating a Kiowa village. I hope I said that right. So again, it's very simple. Pawnee scout and a mountain man, once bitter enemies, must team up to hunt a grizzly that has been devastating a Kiowa village. So it's a very simple goal.
It's very
It's
simple.
just a bear hunt,
Yeah.
basically. You got these two different characters who have to do this one simple thing. But because of its simplicity and its setting, I just felt like I could kind of see the beauty of it. I could see the character work that might come out of it. Like if I was running a company that was doing sort of a Academy Award style prestige projects, with beautiful locations and A-list actors, there was something about this that just felt sort of simple and powerful that I would go for.
It was definitely one of the more contained log lines. It was very like very simple. Do you feel like, yeah, I mean, it's the goal is so clear, and like why they have to take this grizzly down, but I don't know, I just kept thinking like the Revenant, and I was like, yeah, there's that, like they went so insane on that. It's like someone's gonna go, how are you gonna beat the Revenant, right? Like someone's gonna be like that, right?
Yeah, but if everybody went, how are you going to be better than this movie? We wouldn't have any movies, right?
Yeah,
So it's like,
we don't have any, we have
because
hardly
it will be better because it's a
yeah,
different premise.
it
It's
is.
got
You're gonna
different
have like,
stakes, different characters. So yeah, there's room enough for two big mountainous westerny prestige projects.
yeah, and this will like yeah, I mean, bears are really hot right now, so that's Cocaine Bear is
Oh my God,
all
Aadip, I'm
over
gonna
it.
pull you out of Hollywood. I'm telling
No,
you.
I've become a pod person.
God.
This is it. No,
Bears
like
are really
sometimes
hot right
I
now.
just put my like that dumb hat on. Like if I'm a writer, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna probably watch that movie, you know.
Good. Put your writer hat back on. This is on the
All right.
page, my
I just
friend.
say, yeah. I did you feel like you needed any information about either of those characters in terms of personality or anything
I
like that?
think because the Pawnee Scout and the Mountain Man once bitter enemies. I mean, it said to me that like there's a backstory I'm
There's
going
a
to find
past.
out
Yeah.
as I go through.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just also felt like Scout and Mountain Man, there's probably natural skills that are
Yeah.
there, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I didn't need much beyond that.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
What else you got?
Let's see. I mean, so many of these are really good, which I was really happy about. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one. You're gonna laugh because I always pick these. This is from Tony Pastione from Redwood
Ah,
City. It's a
hi,
feature.
Tony. He's been on the show.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
When one of Santa's elves goes rogue, killing off the naughty list on Christmas Eve, Mrs. Claus has to kick some ass.
I knew you'd like that one.
I knew that you
knew
would
it.
know that I would like that.
Yes. Yes. I have like the most minor thing. I feel like it should be reversed. Mrs. Claus has to kick some ass when one of Santa's elves goes rogue, killing off the naughty list on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Like that to me, it just felt like if it was reversed, it would be a little bit sharper.
Yeah,
but
I
it's a
think
great
that's
idea.
true. Yeah, it's and it leads with the lead character and drives it. So yeah, I that makes sense. But it's fun.
This is where I'm gonna get a little bit soft on you. All right. What's with all the violent Christmas movie things going on right now? There's Silent Night, Violent Night, or something like that. Silent Night, I don't know what it's called. There's, I think somebody murdered Santa or something like that was a premise for a reality TV show. There's, like it seems to be in the air. And I guess maybe when I think about like when my kids believed in Santa, seeing a poster like this would mean a lot of explanation. So this is where I start to go like,
I see.
I get a little like, wait a minute, Santa's untouchable. Don't mess with Santa.
Yeah, I mean, I like messing with Santa. I like messing with Santa. I think it's fun to play with, that character. But like in this case, it's like Mrs. Claus, who doesn't have the strongest history in media. So it's like it's whatever we want it. I mean, if Mrs. Claus is, well, anyway, like Scarlett Johansson is Mrs. Claus. It's like, okay, yeah. It's like, okay, Black Widow is Mrs. Claus, or Charlize Theron, you could see her doing this kind of movie. So it could be fun.
You're right. Mrs. Claus hasn't really gotten her day.
She hasn't really, right? I mean, like sometimes Santa's daughter gets some stuff, and there's not a lot of Mrs. Claus stuff.
Charlize Theron, as Mrs. Claus, not like Melissa McCarthy. Like,
maybe, I mean, yeah, that would be hilarious. It just depends on like which way you're going, like how comedic you're going.
I know which way you're going. All right.
Hot Miss Claus, Hot Mrs. Claus. I don't know. Like they're both equally awesome. So it's just a tone thing. And I want, who's this elf that, like casting that elf is going to be really fun. Yeah, it's good. Anyway,
it is. It's a very cute idea.
Yeah.
In a evil
way. In an evil way. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. So this next one is from Shahana Lashley from Portland, and it's a TV show. When her activist girlfriend goes missing amongst the growing popularity of a mysterious new drug, a jaded bartender throws herself into Portland's weird, wild, seedy underground to try and find the woman she loves. So it's a TV show.
That one, yeah, that was pretty tight.
Yeah. I like the fact that here's her activist girlfriend goes missing amongst the growing popularity of a mysterious new drug. So that tells me sort of like what is going to be the engine here. What, like when she's going into the wild the weird, wild, seedy underground to try and find her, one assumes that it's going to be associated with this mysterious new drug. So I feel like it, it's taking you into, the dark underbelly of a city that we don't usually think of as dark,
Oh yeah, maybe because I know I know Portland well, and when I when I was 16 and I toured like colleges in Portland, I
Uh-huh.
literally saw a dude I was with overdose while I was on this trip.
Oh, that's
Like, so to me, like
horrible.
Portland has been seedy and gross like forever. Because
Okay.
but that's my
So,
experience with
so you
Portland.
can see that then even
Yeah, you
more.
could totally see it. It's like, oh yeah, it's totally there. So
Yeah.
it's not a dig at this at all. It's like, it is weird. Um, there is like a strange vibe that's like, underneath it. So yeah, that's a good log line. It wasn't on my list, but it's a good log line.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Aadip, I was just in San Francisco with Rita for her 18th birthday and Pat. And I really wanted to show her San Francisco because, I always loved San Francisco and I always escaped to it and stuff like that.
Yep.
And everywhere we went, we were seeing things that we couldn't unsee, to the point where I kept going, well, okay, yeah, but it's really so beautiful. And there's this and there's that, right? And like Pat, we kept pointing out, like, okay, there's a guy shooting up. And I'd be, no, it's so great. And then finally we're sitting there having some pizza and he goes, okay, there's a naked guy. And I was like, there's not a naked guy. And I look out and there's a naked guy, like stark naked, only with sneakers, walking down a very crowded street.
Mhm.
And I was like, you're right. There is a stark naked guy. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
San Francisco.
San Francisco is so weird because now like it got all overtaken by like tech bros.
Uh-huh.
And then they just like decimated the city and the artists left and it's just craziness. It's so sketchy there now. And like I used to walk around the Tenderloin. I mean, it's not like it was safe, but like now I won't do it,
Naked?
No, clothing optional.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'll go to the Puma store there and get some clothes. But
I still love it. I still, you know what?
I do too.
So close to my heart, but that was hard to, I had to admit, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, there's a guy naked. Okay,
and when I was a teenager, I would drive my van to Berkeley and San Francisco and play on the street, make some money, and drive home to Sacramento. I did that all the time. So yeah, I know that world well.
Yes.
But yeah, you're just like, there's okay.
It's so it does change when you're like older and your parents suddenly like you're put some clothes on, gentlemen.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's your next one?
Let's see. Good old San Francisco. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. Okay, let's see. This one I liked.
Okay.
This one I liked. I think I went too far. See, I had a chunk that was all together. So this is from Janice Nehu.
Okay.
I don't know if I pronounced it properly, but she's from Los Angeles via Hawaii, so that's awesome. A feature. A disillusioned man rekindles a relationship with his former high school girlfriend, then struggles to conceal he and his family have been hiding in the witness protection program since then. I know that the logline needs work, but I like the premise, and it's not overwritten too, so that's good. But what did you think?
I liked the premise.
Yeah,
I did think that the logline needed a little bit of work.
Yeah.
A disillusioned man rekindles a relationship with his former high school girlfriend, then struggles to conceal he and his family have been hiding in the witness protection program since then. It's one of those, this happens and then that happens.
Yeah.
I think there's a way to put it together so it sounds a little more mysterious. Does the former high school girlfriend, struggle to find out what's really going on, and discovers he's been hiding in the witness protection program? Or does this disillusioned man struggle to hide that he's in the witness protection program? Right now, he's just He's just,
He's
yeah.
he's struggling to conceal
Oh, he does say he struggles to
that they've been
conceal.
hiding in the witness break. But I think like there's it doesn't flow maybe as well as
Yeah.
you would like. But yeah, there was,
Oh, you know what? You know what it needs? It needs one of these after things. Okay. So
mm,
after a disillusioned man rekindles a relationship with his former high school girlfriend,
yeah,
he struggles to conceal that he and his family have been hiding in the witness protection program. Period.
yeah,
So it's the then part. He does this, then does that.
uh-huh,
So if we do the after,
yeah,
comma,
yeah,
he does. So I
yeah.
know it's me being so picky, but
But no,
there's a flow to
that
this.
helps it. Yeah, that helps it a lot. um but yeah, it's a great idea for a show. And I don't necessarily know what the tone would be. It feels like a dark comedy. um
Well, it's a feature. I don't know. I see it as probably more dramatic
you think like
than
fully?
that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
But that's the fun thing about movies.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I've got Jacob Vestergaard from Copenhagen, Denmark. And this is a feature. Okay. And this is an elderly archaeologist and her IT expert son must dig into their own troubled past to stop time traveling fascists manipulating history in ancient Rome. I do like those adjectives, those descriptions. Elderly archaeologist and her IT expert son dig into their own troubled past to stop time traveling fascists manipulating history in ancient Rome. Basically, it's like two people have to go back in time to stop something awful, right? Like we see this all the time in everything. But
Yeah,
if you can describe it in a way that makes me feel like there's a hook I haven't seen before, I'm all in. So
yeah,
that's why I thought it was working.
yeah. It wasn't on my list, but I think it has a lot of fun stuff in it. um yeah. Fuck, I mean, fascists are terrible, so let's just get rid of them. But it is like this time everyone's like, okay, if you had a time machine, would you go back and kill baby Hitler? It's like that kind of that's like always the number one
Right.
question, right? um
Exactly.
so this is a little
Exactly.
twist on that.
Well, fascism is quite in play these
Oh, it's
days.
very
So
in vogue in
right.
Italy too.
And I like the idea that to stop traveling fascists, not fascists from ancient Rome, to
Yeah,
stop time traveling fascists from manipulating history in ancient Rome. So it's
yeah,
that idea like what are we doing right now, right? People are
yeah,
trying to manipulate history and pretend
yeah,
history didn't happen the way
right,
history happened, right?
exactly.
So this is, I think, a commentary on it where like these two people have to get together because these crazy people are going to go into ancient Rome and they're going to manipulate it with the way that they want, right?
Yeah, so it's
And
like
I
Nazis are going to ancient Rome, and it's like,
exactly. So I
did
do feel
Rome
like,
need any
yeah,
help? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I'll learn something. That's
Yeah,
what's cool too, is
it's a
because
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think my wife would love this one,
there
even
you
though
go.
she likes time travel but not space, but loves ancient Rome. So I think it has enough for her.
Oh my gosh, she and Jacob are clearly hanging out.
I'm gonna ask her about this later. I'll see
Yeah.
like what she thinks about it.
Okay. All
She'll be
right.
like, "That's not one of yours, is it?" Because it does not read like one of mine.
Okay, I think we're coming toward the end. So, what else have you got?
I had this one. It made me laugh. I don't know, I don't know if it's the best thing ever, but like I liked it. Scott Schrader from Atlanta. It's a
Mhm.
feature. It just, after nuclear war renders the Earth's surface uninhabitable, three of the world's most powerful families retreat to a luxurious underground bunker, only to soon find themselves at war with each other.
I had it too.
It's
Yeah.
pretty. It's like, oh, Bezos and Musk and some other jerk are like the Walton family are like stuck in a bunker together. They will murder each other, like for real. So it's like Succession in a bunker with three families.
Yes. And it's a feature.
And it's a
So it can be
feature.
done,
Yeah.
and like we're in and we're out.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah, along
fun.
the way, and it'll be so much fun
Oh,
to watch these terribly privileged people who think they're saving themselves now try and
exactly.
destroy each other.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it has a lot of Schadenfreude in it, I guess.
absolutely.
But yeah, I like that one.
Good. Okay, that was on my list too.
Cool.
The next one I had might be my last one, I think, is from Rain Hopper, and this is TV. Where's Rain from? Rain, where are you from? I don't know. Sorry. This is a fugitive hacker must escape a holy war waged by devout followers of the AI cult leader she created.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. I
Yeah.
love when you have to go in and fix the problem that you yourself created. And it's TV, right? Fugitive hacker must escape a holy war waged by devout followers of the AI cult leader she created. So here you go, you're a scientist and you create this great AI cult that becomes a cult leader and brings down your world, and now you've got to escape that holy war. I loved it.
I almost picked it, but I was, and maybe it's just me, but like escaping a holy war. So is she trying to stop the holy war, or is she just trying to like run out of there?
You're right.
You
You're
know,
right. It
like
should probably be stop, right? A fugitive hacker must stop a holy war waged by devout followers. So she really has to fix it rather than escape it.
yeah,
Escape sort of implies that maybe like as a feature it would work because you're trying to run from one point to another,
right,
and then
right,
probably in act 3 would turn around and try and fix it. But in a
yeah,
TV show,
yeah,
just watching somebody run rather than
right,
try and fix the damage,
yeah.
that's
Be-
it's one verb, but it makes a big difference. You're right.
I mean, it's it taps into like Terminator 2, some of that stuff, and
Mhm,
like but like having to fight like your child, basically, this thing that you
mhm.
created. So it's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
AI scares the crap out of me, and I've been using a lot of it lately just to experiment with like what it can and can't do. And I'm like, well, I'll be out of jobs soon because it's gonna be
What
like,
do you mean experimenting with what it can and
well,
can't
there's like
do?
I have a friend who like sent me some AI stuff a few weeks ago, and he's like, check this out, and I was like, oh, this is, he's like, so he like pasted some of my like log lines into the thing and saw like
Oh,
rewrite them and stuff, and I was like, oh god, this thing's not terrible at this. So
I
it's terrible at other things, but there's certain things it could do fairly well, and it kind of freaked me out.
I
So
know every couple of years what comes up is this idea of somebody writing through AI or generating stories or algorithms that create great ideas. I have to say I'm not a fan. I mean, I
no,
just
no,
and I think that's the reason it doesn't stick is that what fun is that? How like that's like saying, hey, I could make great art, just follow this paint by number set.
yeah, that's
you
what it
know
is.
I mean,
Hmm.
where's the creativity in that? where's
There's none.
where's the imagination? So
Yeah.
I get why people think, well, this would be good because people would sell more because it would hit certain algorithms, but I don't think so.
There's conversation about this in writer circles where it's like, are the studios just going to make us rewrite their AI scripts? Is that what? Because they'll, if it saves a buck, they'll do it. And I was like, man, they totally could. And then like, what does that mean for us? And what does that mean for intellectual property in general? And like, forget like even just like taking the humanity off the table, like, because the humanity is why we watch these things, is the human element of it, and it's not going to have that. It's never going to have that. So yeah, I just don't want to, it's going to be an issue, and it's going to come up in the, probably come up in the writer strike, actually, where we're going to try to call that out because it's bad. But yeah, it's frightening, and so therefore it's a very good idea for a movie.
Do you think that it's become big enough to get into a contract? I mean, I mean, is it present enough? Is it real enough that it really will be a contractual issue?
I think it will be, or it should be. I mean, at least a lot of the more forward-thinking writers are like, should we mention this thing? You know, just at least figure out, like, because we got screwed on the streaming thing. That
It's
was a new
true.
technology, and it's like, oh yeah, it's all new media contracts, and it's like you make $5 billion a year, so it's like you got us once, so let's keep an eye on it. But
Well,
like
that's
a lot of us are experimenting with it just to see like how scary it is, and it is pretty scary.
okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
it's
look.
good for little things, like little like when you have to do rote stuff at work and whatnot,
Mhm.
like you just have the AI do it for you, and that's pretty cool because it's all just mundane task stuff, but
Look,
like AI for creativity, no.
I still want a Roomba. I mean, that's how far behind I am. I just want AI to vacuum my house, and I can't
That'd be
afford
great.
that.
No,
So like, yeah, I'm a few generations behind on this one.
I bought a cheap coffee table
Oh
that
yeah.
was Roomba friendly. I don't have a
Really?
Roomba, but like I was like, oh, that's interesting. You can go right under, and I was like, huh, never seen that before.
So it's an aspirational coffee table. Like
I
if you
guess
get the coffee table,
if I
maybe you can
ever,
get the Roomba,
yeah.
right? Like if you
Uh,
build it, they will come. Like
now
eventually. Yeah.
I got a Dyson because my new dog sheds so much, and I've never had a dog that shed. And all my dog owner friends and like family members like, you have to get this thing. And I'm like, it's so expensive. They're like, in 2 days you'll be like, how did I live without it? And it's definitely true.
Ah,
So like
okay.
I got fancy. I'm doing it on payments though, so that's not very fancy.
So this writer's strike, right? We got to get the contracts together so that Aadip can pay for his Dyson vacuum cleaner.
In one
So
shot.
in one shot. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So
No,
so we have a mandate.
it's really just because this dog shed there.
Yeah.
I had one left,
Okay. Go for it.
and let's see. Yeah, I thought this was interesting. Michael LaFleur from Redondo Beach,
Okay.
California, place I know well, feature film. An outbreak turns people into raging predators, but stairs are just as dangerous as zombies for Malcolm, a paraplegic former athlete, as he attempts a daring escape from his hellish apartment complex with only his wits, his wheelchair, and his 9-year-old germophobic neighbor named Lily, who might finally help him see that different doesn't mean broken. Now it's overwritten, but I love this idea, and that's like a really good
Mm-hmm.
pitch,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like a log line per se.
Tell me again who it
Um,
is. I'm sorry.
this is Michael LaFleur,
Michael
or
LeFleur.
Leffler from
Oh,
Redondo Beach.
I see it.
Yep.
I see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's a lot.
It's a
Um,
lot.
yeah, it's yeah. So we've got an outbreak turns people into raging predators, but stairs are just as dangerous as zombies for Malcolm, a paraplegic former athlete, as he attempts a daring escape from his hellish apartment complex with only his wits, his wheelchair, and his 9-year-old germophobic neighbor named Lily, who might finally help him see that different doesn't mean broken. So there's just like all this stuff
Yeah,
that's
just
added to it.
that you can
So,
just cut. Yeah.
so you could do something like, um, after an outbreak
Hmm.
turns people into raging predators, Malcolm, we don't even need Malcolm.
No,
We
just
don't need
yeah.
names, okay?
Right.
A paraplegic former athlete attempts a daring escape from his hellish apartment complex with only his wits, his wheelchair, and his 9-year-old germophobic neighbor.
Neighbor.
Period.
Yep.
So the reason we don't need to know her name, right,
Yeah.
is obvious, but also who might finally help him see that different doesn't mean broken. We don't need to know what the moral of the story will be. What he
Mhm.
learns,
Right.
we can kind of get that sense of
Yeah.
that that there will be an arc,
Yeah.
and that's why we read a script,
Yeah.
is to find out all that other stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it could be a killer log line. It's a
Yeah.
great idea, but
Yeah.
I can't say
Yeah.
yes, it wins the log line
Right.
contest.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we know these kinds of stories where it's like child as mentor kind of thing, and you can see that
Yeah.
even before you get to the different doesn't mean broken. But I love different doesn't mean broken too, is like part of the pitch. I think that's
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool. Yeah,
Yes.
they're all good.
There's
They're all really
so
good.
many good ideas. What's weird is you and I did not
I
have, we usually
know.
have like 3 or 4 that we agreed on. And I think
Yeah.
we only had like 2.
Two.
That doesn't necessarily mean that's the winner, because I
Right.
still want to go back in and really, really look at these. So let's take a few
Yeah.
minutes, as we always do, really look at it, see who our winning picks are, and we will tell everybody.
Woo.
So I'm going to put us on pause.
Nice.
Let's see. All right, we're back.
Woo.
Few minutes for us, seconds for you. Here we go. Which one do you want to read? Because we have 2 winning log lines. They are both features this year. And as always, I never just award just one. It's always sort of 2. So we're doing 2
true.
winners. Okay.
That's true.
So which one do you want to pick?
I will do Eugene Kosterka from Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
His feature was, when Snow White comes knocking at their door, the 7 dwarves go to extreme lengths to hide the fact that until yesterday, there used to be 8 of them, and they don't know who amongst them is the killer.
Woohoo!
So,
hey, Eugene.
Zach, you got some coal in your stocking, and Eugene got a big gold bar of latinum, as they would say in Star Trek.
That's right. Well, but your brother Zach came so close.
So close.
He was so close. But Eugene, yep, you get the bigger Christmas present this year.
But tell your parents that they raised you right when it comes to story and log lines.
That's right. And then the second winner is Scott Schrader from Atlanta. Scott.
Yay.
This sounds so familiar, Scott, that I mean, Scott's name is so familiar. I'm wondering, did he win in the past, or did he come really close in the past?
No, that name was, yes, it's very familiar, but I'll have to look in the
he might have won in the
archives.
past. But anyway, Scott, congratulations. Scott Schrader from Atlanta. And this is after nuclear war renders the Earth's surface uninhabitable. 3 of the world's most powerful families retreat to a luxurious underground bunker, only to soon find themselves at war with each other. Very good. Very good.
I hope you're going to write it if you have not written it, because that is really fun.
Yes, absolutely. So I thought these were some killer log lines this year. Now remember, everybody, there's 82 submissions. So if you were one of the people that we didn't talk about tonight, here's the deal. It does not mean the script itself is not great. This is a log line competition. So it has as much to do with how you phrase the log line as the idea. Actually, most of the people who didn't make this list, all the ideas had possibilities. It was mainly the phrasing of it. Okay. Or there was something really special in your idea that wasn't coming through. And I'm sure it's there. So please, please, please don't let this ruin your Christmas. You are absolutely welcome to email me and say, hey, could you give me some feedback on my log line? I wasn't picked this year. And my feedback might be, it was perfectly fine. It just didn't make the list as the things that stood out for us. Sometimes that's the feedback. And sometimes it's very specific. I can go on in and cross out a few words, etc. So feel free to hit me up by email. I'm not doing that second podcast this year of going through absolutely every single one of them.
Good.
I just can't.
It's just a lot. 2022 took a lot from us. So let's just...
And Ezra's coming home in 2 days, but I gotta clean the house. So
that's right. I understand.
They're very neat, Aadip. So I thank you for understanding. Like I said, feel free to email me, and congratulations again to our winners, to Scott and to Eugene. And thank you to everybody else. I guess that's it, right? Oh, Aadip, you're on a million social media platforms and things like that. How can people reach out to you if they want to?
That's a great question, because everything's dying, but I'm still on Twitter. Well,
Like,
it's a
and could
mass
you leave us with
exodus.
something positive?
No, I mean,
Everything's dying.
everything's
Everything.
well, I'm confronted with this often, because everyone's like, what's the next thing gonna be? And it's like, I don't know. But I'm on Twitter at Aadip. I'm on Instagram at Aadip. Everything's just at Aadip,
At a deep.
AADIP. So
Okay.
you can find me. It's not hard.
Okay. Or use
But
your
yeah,
AI or your Roomba to find them.
yeah,
He's
just
out
find me
there.
with your room.
Okay.
Have your AI tell your Roomba where to find me and to come under my coffee table and do its job. So yeah. But
And I want to remind
yeah.
everybody to go to onthepage.tv. As always, make your 2023 right by taking a class in something that you've always thought about doing. It could be writing a feature film, it could be writing TV, it could be rewriting. That's the first class of the year. I would love to see you in class. They are on Zoom and also recorded if you're not seeing something live offered right away. So just go to onthepage.tv, check it out. Also, I rarely say this, but follow me on Instagram at on the page. Why? Because there are the recordings from these
Oh,
podcasts. You will always see recorded clips from these podcasts. So you can really see what the guest looks like. And in this case, too, with this particular episode, we're putting it on YouTube. But most of the time, you will find everything right on Instagram. So go there at on the page. Thank you
cool.
again to Aadip Desai for being
Yeah.
here. Really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, of course. It's always good to like kick the tires on log lines that aren't yours, so then you can look back at yours and go, okay, how can I fix them? So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And always fun to have you here.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody for listening and have a good writing week.